Like and subscribe now. This incredible behind-the-scenes story from one of Hollywood's greatest films will move you to tears. What happened when filming stopped will shock you. This is a story about compassion and humanity. Don't miss it. A story about recognizing when someone needs help and having the courage to stop everything. 1958, Rio Bravo was being filmed in Arizona. One of the greatest westerns ever made was coming to life on camera. Everything was going perfectly. The scenes were being filmed. The cast was performing beautifully. The crew was working smoothly. But then a man started shaking. A man who had no business being on set. A man who was clearly in distress. And what happened next shocked everyone. It revealed something about the director that nobody expected. It revealed what real humanity looks like when everything is on the line. This is a story about how one moment of compassion proved that a man's character was bigger than his need for perfection. When perfection met humanity. To understand this story, you need to understand the world of filmmaking in 1958. And you need to understand the man who was directing Rio Bravo. Howard Hawks *** was one of the greatest directors in Hollywood history. By 1958, he had been directing films for decades. He had made classics. He had worked with the biggest stars. He had a reputation for being demanding, perfectionist, and completely focused on getting the best performance and the best shot, no matter what it took. Howard Hawks didn't accept excuses. He didn't accept weakness. He didn't accept anything less than perfection. He would shoot scenes over and over until he got exactly what he wanted. He would push actors to their limits. He would do whatever it took to create the perfect film. Rio Bravo was going to be his masterpiece. The film starred *** John Wayne ***, one of the biggest stars in the world. It also starred *** Dean Martin *** and other great actors. It was a western about a group of people defending a town against an army of outlaws. The film was being shot on location in Arizona. It was hot. It was dusty. It was difficult work. But Hawks was determined to make it perfect. James Iris *** was an actor who had been brought on to play a smaller role in the film. He was a talented performer, but he was also a sensitive man. He was more intellectual than many of the tough guys who usually appeared in westerns. He was thoughtful. He was introspective. He was the kind of actor who got inside his emotions to create authentic performances. But that sensitivity came with a cost. James Iris dealt with anxiety. He sometimes struggled with nerves and stress, especially in high-pressure situations. On this particular day, a crucial scene was being filmed. It was an important moment in the story. It required intensity and emotion from the actors. Howard Hawks had been working on this scene for hours, and he wasn't satisfied yet. He wanted another take, and another, and another. The heat was intense. The pressure was building. The actors were exhausted, but Hawks kept pushing. When pressure became crisis, James Iris had been performing the same scene over and over. Each time, Hawks would tell him it wasn't quite right. Each time, James would prepare himself emotionally and do it again. But something was happening inside James that nobody could see at first. The pressure was building. The stress was accumulating. His anxiety was growing. After the 12th take, James was visibly shaking. His hands were trembling. His breathing was rapid. He looked like a man who was about to have a serious medical emergency. The crew noticed. The other actors noticed. But Howard Hawks was so focused on the scene, so focused on getting what he wanted, that he didn't seem to notice. Again, Hawks said, "Let's do it again. And this time, I want more emotion. I want to feel what your character is feeling." James tried. He tried so hard, but his body was betraying him. The shaking was getting worse. He looked pale. He looked like he might collapse. One of the crew members, a props master named *** Tom Brady ***, was watching James. Tom had worked with many actors over the years. He recognized what was happening. James was having a panic attack or something close to it. Tom stepped forward. He looked at Howard Hawks directly. "Director," Tom said firmly, "we need to stop." The entire set went silent. Nobody told Howard Hawks to stop. Not in the middle of a scene. Not when he was working toward perfection. Hawks turned to look at Tom. His expression was angry. "What?" "We need to stop," Tom repeated. "The actor isn't okay. Look at him." Hawks looked at James. And for a moment, something flickered across Hawks's face. understanding, recognition, humanity. James was still shaking. His hands were clenched. He looked terrified. "Cut," Hawks said quietly. "Cut. Everyone take 10 minutes." The crew dispersed. The actors stepped back. Hawks walked over to James. "Are you okay?" Hawks asked. And his voice was different now. Not demanding. Not pushing. Just concerned. "I don't know," James said. His voice was shaking as much as his hands. "I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. I can't." Hawks put his hand on James's shoulder. "Sit down. Let's sit down." They sat on 2 chairs near the set. Hawks looked at James with an expression that was different from the demanding director everyone knew. "I pushed too hard," Hawks said simply. "I was so focused on getting the perfect take that I didn't see that you needed a break, that you were struggling." "I'm sorry," James said again. "I know you want the scene to be perfect. I know you've been working hard to get it right. His voice cracked. "You're human," Hawks said. "That's what you are. You're human. And pushing a human being past their limit isn't going to make a better performance. It's going to make a worse one." Hawks was quiet for a moment. He seemed to be thinking about something. About his approach. About his demands. "How long have we been shooting this scene?" Hawks asked. "Since this morning," one of the assistant directors said quietly. 12 takes. Hawks nodded. "That's enough. We're done for the day. Everyone go back to the hotel. Rest. We'll try again tomorrow when everyone's had time to recover." The crew was stunned. Howard Hawks never stopped filming early. Howard Hawks never called it a day unless the light got bad or there was a technical problem. But here he was, calling it a day because an actor was struggling emotionally. As the crew dispersed, Hawks stayed with James. "I've spent my whole career chasing perfection," Hawks said. "I've made great films. But I've also hurt people in the process. I've pushed them too hard. I've demanded things that cost them something." Hawks looked at James directly. "That changes now. I don't want that on my conscience anymore." When a director learned something new. The next day, filming resumed. But something was different. Howard Hawks was still demanding. He still wanted perfection. But he was more aware now of the people involved. He was more conscious of when actors were struggling. He took breaks more frequently. He checked in with performers. The scene that James had struggled with the day before was filmed again. But this time, Hawks had prepared James differently. He had had a conversation with him. He had asked what James needed. He had adjusted his approach. The scene came out beautifully. James delivered an incredibly authentic, emotional performance. It was some of the best work he did in the film. When Hawks saw the footage, he realized something important. The better he treated the actors, the better their performances were. Pushing them past their limits didn't create great art. It created trauma. Throughout the rest of filming Rio Bravo, Hawks maintained his standards, but he did it in a different way. He was still focused on excellence, but he was also focused on the humanity of the people creating that excellence. The film was completed. It became a classic. Critics praised it. Audiences loved it. It's considered one of the greatest westerns ever made. When Rio Bravo was released, James Arce received praise for his performance. His role in the film helped launch his career to new heights. But more importantly, he knew that he had experienced something rare in filmmaking, a director who had recognized his humanity and adjusted his approach. Years later, James talked about that day on set. He talked about how Howard Hawks had stopped everything to help him. He talked about how that moment had changed his relationship with filmmaking. He talked about how it had shown him that compassion and excellence weren't mutually exclusive. Hawks also reflected on that moment. In later interviews, he talked about the day he learned that you could be a demanding director without being a cruel one. That you could push for excellence while still respecting the humanity of the people creating that excellence. "I realized," Hawks said in an interview, "that I had been thinking about filmmaking all wrong. I thought perfection required sacrifice. I thought it meant pushing people until they broke. But I was wrong. Real perfection comes when people are treated with respect and given what they need to do their best work." The story of what happened on Rio Bravo spread through Hollywood. It became known as the day a director chose humanity over perfection, and it inspired other filmmakers to think about how they treated actors and crew members. When excellence means something different, This story teaches us something that applies far beyond filmmaking. Real excellence comes when you balance high standards with respect for people. Howard Hawks wanted a perfect film, and his pursuit of that perfection actually created one of the greatest films in cinema history. But the turning point, the moment where his pursuit of excellence became truly excellent, was when he learned to balance his demands with compassion. Think about the leaders and managers in your own life. The ones you respect most aren't the ones who pushed you mercilessly. They're the ones who pushed you to be better while also caring about your well-being. They're the ones who held high standards but also held your humanity sacred. That's what real leadership looks like. That's what real excellence looks like. This story also teaches us, sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is speak up when someone is being hurt. Tom Brady, the props master, risked challenging the director. He risked being fired or blacklisted. But he spoke up because he saw that someone was suffering. He said, "We need to stop." In our workplaces, in our families, in our communities, we often see people struggling. But we stay silent because it's easier. We tell ourselves it's not our place. We tell ourselves someone else will handle it. But what if we were more like Tom Brady? What if we spoke up when we saw someone being hate? What if we were willing to risk our own comfort for someone else's well-being? There's also a lesson about the power of recognizing when you're wrong. A great person is someone who can see they've made a mistake and change course. Howard Hawks could have doubled down. He could have insisted that his way was right. He could have blamed James for not being strong enough. But instead, he recognized that he had been wrong. He admitted it. He changed. That's not weakness. That's actually the ultimate strength. The ability to look at yourself honestly and change course is a sign of real character. This story also teaches us, compassion doesn't weaken us. It makes us stronger. Hawks was afraid that showing compassion would weaken his authority or his ability to direct. But the opposite happened. By showing compassion, by caring about James's well-being, Hawks actually got better performances. He created a better working environment. He became a better director. In our own lives, we often think that showing compassion means showing weakness. We think it means we can't be effective or successful. But that's not true. Real strength includes compassion. Real success comes when we bring our whole humanity to our wake. There's also a lesson about looking closely at the people around you. Sometimes, the most important thing we can do is see when someone needs help. The other crew members might not have noticed James's distress. They might have been focused on their own jobs. But Tom saw. Tom paid attention. Tom cared enough to look. How many people around us are struggling, and we don't notice because we're too focused on ourselves or on the task at hand? What if we paid more attention? What if we really looked at the people we work with and live with? Finally, this story teaches us, growth is possible. People can change. Leaders can become better. Howard Hawks didn't have to change. He was already successful. He had already proven himself. But he was willing to grow. He was willing to learn. He was willing to become a better version of himself. That's what we should all aspire to. Continuous growth. Continuous learning. Continuous improvement not just in our skills, but in our character. In how we treat people. In how we lead. So here's the question for you. Are you someone who pushes for excellence at any cost? Or are you someone who understands that real excellence means excellence in how you treat people? Are you willing to notice when someone is struggling? Are you willing to speak up? Are you willing to change course if needed? Because that's what separates truly great leaders from merely successful ones. Not just what they achieve, but how they achieve it. Not just what they create, but how they treat the people who helped them create it. Rio Bravo is remembered as one of the greatest films ever made. But the story that will always matter to James Ayers, and to everyone who hears it, isn't just about the film. It's about the moment when a director stopped everything to care about a human being. That moment of compassion was more valuable than any perfect take. That moment of seeing another person's humanity was more valuable than any award the film would win. That's what real excellence looks like. Like and subscribe. This incredible behind-the-scenes story from Hollywood's golden age just reminded us what real leadership and compassion look like. If Howard Hawks' moment of recognizing his mistake and choosing humanity inspired you to think about your own leadership and how you treat others, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to watch more stories about people who chose to do the right thing, people who grew and changed, people who led with compassion. In the comments below, tell us, have you ever experienced a leader who balanced high standards with genuine care for their team? Have you ever had to speak up to protect someone? Share your story because it could inspire thousands of people to be better leaders and better humans. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss another story about growth, compassion, and what real excellence actually means. Subscribe now and join our community of people who believe that the best leaders are the ones who push for excellence without losing their humanity.